Nothing remarkable, really. The ease of with which a person can fade into the background here is reflective to the kind of city Luxembourg will always be. But the humdrum is one thing I learned to live with. Needless to say, it doesn't usually stay that way. There are times when it could it would come alive to make itself known and reassert itself back to the world. However, those moments are few and far in between. Then again, what graces the news channel lately, I'm starting to think it's going to happen sooner. Can't say I'm looking forward to what I'll bring.
Luxury living, is it?
Yeah. Her voice effectively cuts through my thoughts just as I count the 13 passerby wearing a hat today. Beside me, I can hear the faint rustling of paper and clicking of her pen as she stashes them back into her bag.
Excuse me, what?
The magazine you're working for. It's Luxury Living, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You've been featured by them before, I take it?
Are you? A few years back, yes. For just some issues. My designs still appear from time to time, though not as frequent as before. Gotta have room for new talents, right?
Yep, you ain't lying. It may not show in her face, but the pride is evident in her voice.
Good folks, the people running the publication. Tell me, is DK still on the editorial team?
I wouldn't know. I've only started taking jobs from them this year. Freelancer, you know.
Good man, that guy. Anyone in our field should meet him. He had a lot of things to say about art, all of them relevant. Learned a lot from him, actually, even if we both came from two different fields.
True.
I hope he's in a good place. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, your portfolio must have been good if they gave you the job. They don't easily assign big features to freelancers like this.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I am, but experienced, you know? The more you practice it, the more you learn the tricks of the trade. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean. Still, you've got to keep up with the competition. Each year, a new talent emerges, and, well, you never know. Clients can be a bit fickle-minded with their choices. Believe me.
Facts.
Speaking of, do you think you'd be up for a new client after this?
Think so? Depends on how big the project is.
She reaches into her bag again. Oh. This time to pull out a business card, which she hands over to me.
When you're free, send your portfolio to Chris. He's my assistant.
Oh.
He's been looking for a decent photographer to help with updating the studio's portfolio. Nothing urgent, but the sooner the better.
Makes sense.
Not sure if I'll have the time to squeeze this in. But, alright, I'll give it a go once.
Marianne, could you look this over for me?
Ah, shit. At that very moment, Miss Wright emerges from the store. When I look back to Miss McCullough, a mask of professionalism has returned to her. Or at least that is what it is trying to be. There is a different light in her eyes as she faces her, a flicker of familiarity and recognition. I say it's fondness, but that would be too presumptuous. Whether it doesn't last, is briskly swept under the firm tone her voice assumes.
Definitely. Is there a problem?
They said they don't have the colors you suggested. Do you think we can change it around for a bit? It might...
I think it'd be
shit.
better if I handle this one myself.
Shit, I didn't mean to do that. I pressed the X by
Do
accident.
you think we can change it around for a bit? It might take a while if we insist what we want, and you know I'd rather not worry about this later.
Okay, good.
Excuse me.
She walks into the shop without another word, leaving the two of us standing outside. As soon as she's out of earshot, however, Miss Wright lets out a giggle and sweeps the business card cleanly off my hand. She smiles, a bemused little thing spreading across her face. Waves the card in front of me. I wish she'll do that more often. The smiling thing. It suits her more than the other she frequently shows in the media.
I look away, and the next thing I know, you're picking up women. On the streets, while the sun is high, no less. I'm not sure if I should be appalled or amazed. Whatever happened to the Zach I met a day ago? About as tall as you. Photographer. Quite the gentleman.
I mean, he's there.
To tell you the truth, I'm a bit disappointed he's gone.
It ain't like that, Miss Wright. And I'm sure Miss McCullough is not the kind of woman to let herself be picked up by strangers, let alone people she barely knows.
Yeah.
Oh, shush. Let me have my fun. And didn't I say you can call me Hannah?
Oh yeah, that's right. Hannah.
This right after you introduced yourself as my friend in front of my husband.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean...
I do believe this isn't how friends address each other. Too formal, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, she's not wrong. She gives the card back to me nevertheless. And with it, her mood fades into a more pensive one. An odd look settles on her face, yearning a bit wistful as she looks back towards the shop's display window. There's nothing remotely interesting in it, for me, when I follow her out of sight though. A few trinkets here and there, a fur rug, a sofa, a wooden side table, and a lamp, all tastefully picked up and arranged to resemble a typical antique living room. On second thought, it does look comfortable. I bet it does. But why they added a crib beside it baffles me. Unless of course, the people they are hoping to market to are those who already have children or about to have one. Then maybe it is fitting. Peculiar choice of decorations aside, it does make for a nice icebreaker if it's not on the same level of weird and completely out of the blue. It still leagues better than the awkward silence, which is definitely too out of character for a personality like Miss Hannah's.
Oh, I think that one looks cute.
Hannah balks to my surprise, shuffling 2 steps away from the window and glares at it, with such vehemence as if it did something remotely scandalous. a funny sight when taken out of context, and I probably will be laughing really if I understand what warranted such reaction from her.
I wasn't looking at the crib.
Sure you weren't.
I wasn't really talking about the crib, Hana.
Very good then. But it wasn't the crib, all right.
Alright, I get you. But that's not it. Honest. I was just saying the stuff that was on display there looks nice. Or at least as nice that it can be compared to the ones we visited earlier. But I'm sure your interior designer has something different in mind for your mansion, so don't mind me.
Yeah. I was hoping that would... Ah, shit. Oh, well, I do have Zach's... Shit. I was hoping that it would be enough to cut the topic short. Instead, she sighs and leads on a wall closet to her and runs her hands through a lock of her hair. There is a far-flung look in her eyes, even as she fixes it on a concrete crib.
You need to stop looking at people like that, sweetie.
I'm afraid I don't quite catch your drift, ma'am.
Yeah, what is she talking about?
I suppose you wouldn't be aware of it. Do you know you always carry this kind of phase? Like you're always staring at the world with this honest look. Like all there is to see is all the good in it.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't see anything wrong if it's like that. I mean, there always has to be something in it. You know, a sprinkle of kindness here and there.
I get what he's saying.
Otherwise, we'd all be miserable.
True.
For you, maybe. Some people have to fight through it just to see that. And kindness isn't always a great thing to have around. Sometimes too much of it can hurt.
She does have a point. It makes you wonder where this is coming from. How bad things have really gone for her to have this view. Yeah, were you not there at the party? Yeah, it got really bad. Yeah. I do understand her sentiment. I really do. Still, when sorry about that. Still, when it's the last thing you can cling to. Still, when it's the last thing you can cling to when things have gone irreversibly bad, sometimes you simply don't get to make a choice. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah.
Besides, the point is, it's impossible to lie when a person is looking at you like that. Or I could, but I'd feel like a horrible person afterwards.
I understand her point of view. Oh, my back.
Did you hear that, Mr. Zach? You just made me feel like a horrible person.
I didn't make it night. That wasn't my intentions, though.
I sort of wish I had one like it. Just so people would stop lying to my face.
Or you can start by being honest with yourself. It shouldn't be quite hard. friends don't lie to each other, don't they?
True.
I guess so.
So what was the lie?
Oh boy. She draws in a breath, lays a soothing hand on her stomach, and
That it was really the crib I was looking at earlier, silly.
oh, ah, shit. Okay, I guess.
You're right, Uncle Zach. It's cute, but the pattern's not to my taste. I'm pretty sure Marianne could do something about that, though.
Uncle? Wait, what?
At the moment, what I should really be worried about is if I'm ever going to be a good mother to this child. Ned, I can't even tell the father he's going to be one in a few months' time. Probably doesn't even want anything to do with this whole pregnancy thing. What am I going to do, Zach? Because right now, I'm absolutely at a loss.
Oh.
A beat?
Oh!
The realization strikes me like a ton of bricks suddenly bearing down on me. Wait, is she serious? Like, is she pregnant? More than astonishment must have shown in my face because Hannah lets out a chuckle. The slump on her shoulders disappears altogether underneath her mirth.
Don't look so surprised, dearie. Tied the knot 7 years ago, remember?
Tied the knot? Huh?
Don't you think it's bound to happen?
Oh, okay. She brandishes her hand in front of me, the unshine silver band on her finger glinting against the late morning sunlight for a second. She eyes it lovingly, almost tenderly, despite the trace of sadness in her voice. Yeah. I can't believe she's still with this dude. For all I know, there is an entire story there. I'd ask, but that would be too inappropriate, even for friends. It's not my place to meddle, to begin with.
Or at least that's what they've been saying early on. My whole social circle would be saying it's a long time coming.
But the kid is something you want, right?
Oh, she's not pregnant. Okay, I guess.
Because if it ain't, then that's a whole other problem.
I mean, if she doesn't want to have kids, that's her decision.
Of course. I wouldn't deny I've been hoping to have him or her for a long time now. But then, now that we're here, all of a sudden, there are a whole lot of other things to be worried about. Business, a new home, public image, my own husband, and I don't know. I didn't really have anyone for a role model.
Aw.
I practically grew up with nursemaids pampering me every step of the way. What if it happens to this baby as well?
Oh, so she's okay.
Oh, I can already see how this will end.
Huh. I guess it's not just my sister.
What?
You and my sister. I mean, you're both having jitters or something like that. That's what it's called, right? First baby jitters? Mind you, she was really convinced she'd do everything wrong then. He even called me in the middle of the night. Has to switch places the day she found out she's carrying a new member of the family. Never mind how utterly impossible her request is.
I'm quite sure I haven't done anything of that sort yet.
Oh, you don't know that? My brother-in-law has been telling me things 5 weeks into my sister's pregnancy. Said she's one cranky pregnant lady. Man, good thing I found a place for myself years before that bundle of joy arrived, huh?
It can't be that awful.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who knows? I think we'd better leave it for Mr. Right to decide, yeah?
Oh, this scumbag. Oh, that's an asshole.
Provided he comes around. He just sounds so repulsed every time the idea is brought up.
Oh, well.
Then maybe you should say it to his face. No mincing of words or beating around the bushes.
Yeah.
And if he says no?
Wait, hold on.
You haven't even told him yet. Besides, that's his kid. Don't people usually say fatherhood changes men?
For the better and for the worse, depending on the circumstances.
I wouldn't call myself a living testament, of course. But there ought to be something that will hit him in that idea alone.
A wrecking ball would be nice.
A laughter escapes me before I can stop it, and for a moment I thought I would have done something wrong when she doesn't join in. He's still her husband, no matter what jests or complaints she hurls about him behind the media's eyes or in the presence of people she trusts. But when she does, her chuckle is small, hesitant at first. I find the rest my unease slipping away.
Well, whatever it is, my point is, you got no idea what will happen. In the same way, you don't know if you'll be a good mom.
Nope, not at all.
Trust me, my sister's been there. It's perfectly normal. If my opinion matters, though.
A long second of indecision goes by. I can feel her eyes. I'm just, oh, okay. Filled with nothing but curiosity. Boring into me while she waits for the rest. Just a simple settlement. It's just a simple settlement. But one thing I think she needs to hear for all the doubts she unwittingly places on herself. I'm just not sure if it should come from me. I'll be damned.
I think you'll be a great mother, Hana.
A great mother. If she has an answer to that, I don't get to hear, nor she goes to say it. But as soon as it's out of my mouth, the bell hanging over the antique store door chimes, and out comes Miss McCullough. For more than one reason, I have never been relieved. Our talk got her interrupted.
Everything's been taken care of for tomorrow, Mrs. Wright. We'll have everything you requested delivered early. I've left them instructions, but I may have to visit again right before your housewarming party to check for a few things. I hope that's acceptable to you?
More than Marianne. This is a little early to say, but you did marvelous work with the mansion. I can't wait to see all of it come together tomorrow.
I'm only doing my job, ma'am.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it's always a pleasure to hear a client is satisfied with my work.
Nonsense! You have every reason to be proud.
Yeah.
I know you've already established your name here, but I'll still make sure word gets out, of course. I think I've got a few friends who might be interested in decorating their homes. I'll see if I can introduce you to them tomorrow.
I really don't want to impose, Mrs. Wright. There's still a lot to be done, and I'd rather be keeping an eye on it myself.
You know well enough I'll still do it.
Sorry about that.
You too, Monsieur le Photographe. You better be the one taking the pictures for the event tomorrow, or I'll be very upset.
Oh. I blink at her, confused. Okay, let me save just in case. Okay. Alright, there we go. Last I checked, I have nothing scheduled on my plate tomorrow. A couple of fleeting thoughts did cross my mind, like working on personal projects. But with the expected expression on Hannah's face alone, I've wondered before how they got Isabella to sell the mansion with all the paperwork and the loops it has to go through. Yeah. Well, now the how is already standing in front of me, and it's one giant ball of persuasion in human form. If I have any doubts how she got around life, all of them would have been dispelled right this instant. Hannah hasn't said anything yet, but I already know what my answer will be.
What event?
Our housewarming party, dearie. I've already sent invites through your publisher. They should have informed you of it by now.
I may have probably missed it. I haven't gotten a chance to check my mailbox yet.
Yeah.
If deadlines, real life happenings, you know, they can be pretty hectic.
I reckon it can be. Alright. Oh, shit.
I'll try later, but they might have already assigned it to a different photographer if they haven't received my reply yet.
That's not a problem. Nothing a little call from me can't fix. I'll have them know I'm specifically requesting for your presence. It shouldn't be too hard.
You're right, it shouldn't be hard.
Just promise me you'll show up.
Yeah.
I expect to see you both there. No excuses.
Good company, good music, good food. Of course I'll be there.
Lovely. I hope we have that settled then. I'd love to stay and chat, but unfortunately I have an appointment scheduled with the doctors after this. You two will have to excuse me.
Are you feeling fine, ma'am?
It's nothing big.
What does she mean? There's a short while in her... There's a short while in which her hand faintly touches her stomach when she says this. Her smile, as she does, a tender thing in itself. She might have let it cross her mind, but motherhood would suit her. The kid is already loved, even when he or she has yet to have a sense of the world. Candid moments like this, I wish I thought I had a camera. I wish I had bought a camera.
Sorry we had to cut this short. I'd love to have lunch with you two, but, well, you two know how it goes.
Yeah.
It's quite fine, Mrs. Wright. I need to get going as well.
Is it somewhere far from here? I can have my driver drop you off on the way.
No, please. There's no need for that, Mrs. Wright. It's just within the city.
I see. What about you, Zach? We did leave your push bike at the mansion.
Hopefully Luke hasn't touched it.
Don't worry, I'll have someone bring it to your home later.
Nah, I live within the city too. A few blocks from here, in fact. I only visited earlier because...
The photos. Damn, I completely forgot about them. My hand grazed on the side of my pocket where I've kept them since this morning. I'm sure enough they're still there, waiting for the whole world to see them.
Because? Zach, sweetie, you're zoning out.
Miss Hannah, earlier, at the mansion.
Show her the photos. Never mind. Fuck. Do we... This is what I was... Show her the photos? Or just show her the photos?
I think it would be better if you take a look at these yourself.
Ah, shit. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. She should know. I really should tell her. Yet,
Zachary, what is it?
when I look at her, all I see is a woman who only wants the best for the family she's trying to build. You know what? I'll see what happens later on. Because I kind of want to do... Because I'm not going to throw them anyway. Because I see those lovely smiles on her face whenever she puts her hand out over her belly. The fond tones in her voice every time she thinks about what will be in the month's time. I bet she bought that mansion for the same reason. To fill its many rooms with the smiles and laughter of their children, to create memories from it, unlike the lonely ones she had as a child. And I can't bring myself to shatter that little wish. What other proof do I have except for what might be taken as a couple of bad developed photos? Yeah. No matter where you look at it, this is ridiculous. Maybe I am seeing things. I need to visit my doctor again as soon as possible.
About the photos you requested.
Oh, are they done?
Yeah.
No, actually, they're not done yet. I had to finish the ones for the magazine first. I really don't want to rush it.
Please don't tell me you came all the way to Anslem just to tell me that.
Fuck. What I don't understand is our relationship increased with Hannah when we said never mind. But
I made you a promise.
Oh, you poor thing. I won't hold it against you if you can't give it to me soon. I'm not rushing you, dear. Good art takes time, yes. I'm more concerned about the quality than how fast it gets delivered. With it, I'm sure I'll get my money's worth.
yeah. I mean, that's understandable.
You really don't have to pay for it, Hannah.
Shush you. Don't sell yourself short. You keep doing that and other people will follow.
She does have a point.
I'll have my secretary send the first half to your account tonight. No buts.
Behind her, Miss McCullough merely nods, mouthing at me to take it just as it is. She know, of course, being the other person working for the rights. But even if I decline, I'm certain Hannah won't be giving me a choice. She'll do it anyway.
I guess I'll just have to make sure I'll take good photos tomorrow at your party, yeah?
Fair enough. I'd love to discuss it with you, but I'll only get in the way. And I really need to leave now.
Have a good day, then.
You too, sweetie.
She smiles and then waves, then she's gone, leaving me wondering if I've just wasted half of my day worrying for nothing. But the weight of the photos in my pocket is impossible to ignore. Maybe I should have done the foolish thing instead. Miss McCullough departs shortly after Miss Wright has taken her leave, muttering something about getting a quick lunch before fetching Bruvathiel from Chris. I don't know who Bruvathiel is. It must be important for her to be in this kind of hurry. And well, she doesn't seem to be fond of small talks. Something we both agree on. Lunch sounds good, or a walk around the city maybe, but with the sun as high as it is now, nah. And after how things with Miss Hannah went, I simply can't muster the appetite for anything at the moment. If I don't do anything with it now, I have this impression it will rear its ugly head again. And by then, things might be too late to fix. What other choice do I have? Ash, Rebecca? In all likeliness, they'll all given me a pat in the back, and Z-Man get some sleep. You're at it again, from Ash. I talked to Isabella, but I haven't seen her around since she showed up at my apartment 2 days ago. Weird. There is one person there.
Damn, I should have thought of that first.
As it turns out, I do have another choice. I'm not a religious person. I won't identify myself as such. Or rather, I can. I'm sure my grandparents didn't have to force me to go weekly. I'd happily join them. In fact, most of my childhood Sundays have been spent attending service. It's simple. It's simply that. As you get older, the more experience you get from your own beliefs on things becomes easier for a better world, I guess. And at one point, it just stopped. That kind of thing. Nevertheless, I have no disdain for it. Sometimes it does help. When things are really, really bad, when the dreams won't stay where they should be. Talking does a bit. It's also a good thing in Father Norman's, well, he's not completely a pious man you typically expect. My unlikely friendship only probably happened because he's the kind of guy who's cool with the young ones. That sentence, I don't know how to respond to that sentence, as he so aptly puts. And he is surprisingly, it makes him easy to approach. Like that one time with Isabella. I don't think he believes in the ghost kind, but there he went. Maybe he has something to say about the photos as well. It won't hurt since I've already gone ahead and went to ask them. On daybreak on my bike, at the very least, I know I won't get shouted at by whoever answers the
Unless
door.
someone does that inside a church. I highly doubt it.
Despite its age, the Luxborn Church is a thing of, well, wonder in itself, with its high vaulted ceilings and intricate stained glass windows. One of the many gifts the Immergarten family donated to the community is in its early days. Or so I heard from Rebecca. She mentioned this once, although most of it flew over my head then. At the time of the day, the church is mostly empty, save for a few visitors and ushers shuffling about the muttering of prayers underneath their breath. The scene of burning candles and incense permeate the air, giving the place a general feeling of reverence. Pretty welcoming, all in all. Even so, I keep the noise my treads make to a minimum. Disturbing the quiet feels like a sin alone. An usher points me to a pew in front of the altar when asked where Father Norman prays. He mentions something about the good priest not being in good health. Damn. Ever since he did a favor to a friend to bless an old house. This is the first time in days he's left his room. No surprise there. With the weird heat lately, even Rebecca caught something. Nervous little chap, the kid. Nevertheless, he leads me close to the foot of the dais with a reminder not to stay too long before walking off. Seconds later, Father shifts and stands. He doesn't seem to have noticed me, and I have given him a little tap on the shoulder. When he looks, though, to say he's surprised is an understatement. Oh God! Oh shit! Oh no! Zach? His voice comes out a whisper, almost inaudible, in a hush, a quiet restraint and indifference to where we both are standing. But the tremor is there. He focused on me with wide, bulging eyes, copious amount of sweat appearing on his forehead, despite the relative coolness of the place.
Father Norman?
Keep your distance.
Yo.
Hey, it's me, Zach, remember?
Stay away, don't come near me.
Yo. Is he alright? It must be the fever talking. Whatever he called. Zach, you might want to look behind you. It has to be. How does he not? Okay. I don't recall ever doing anything to him to drive me away like this. In all the years I've known him, he's never been... In all my years I've known him, he's been nothing but polite. Nothing but accepting of people regardless of beliefs or status in life. For words akin to a threat to come out of him is simply beyond imaginable. Zach, you might wanna, Zach, you might wanna, look behind you.
Go back to where you came from. Leave.
Father, what did I do?
Leave now.
Yo, dude. I don't think he's talking to Zach. I extend a hand to his shoulder, meant to be reassuring, but he recoils his ankle catching on the edge of the dais as he backs away. His shouts when I attempt to reach out again echoes through the entire hall, catching the attention of the few people inside. I try to keep a level tone, but with these strangers' eyes trained on us, panic starts to weep its way into me.
Stay away, demon. Go back to the hell you came from.
Father, it's okay. I only came here for some pictures I thought looked odd. I figured you might know something.
From my pocket, I fish out the photos and try to hand it to him. Instead, he strikes my wrist away, almost like an accusation, and sends the photos fluttering uselessly to the floor. Helpless, I can only watch as he curls into himself on the ground, a sad, blubbering mess, whimpering to himself. He tips his head forward and begins rocking, his hands clapped over his ears.
That accursed spirit, so full of anger and pain. All those horrible things I've seen. I can't sleep. I can't eat everywhere I look. Go away. Go away. Go away. You're not supposed to be here. This is a house of God. Be gone, demon.
Yo, he has lost his mind. I mean, my question is, how did Zach not see? How was Zach not looking behind him?
Lord have mercy, God our Lord, King of ages, all-powerful and almighty. You who made everything and transform everything simply by your will.
A number of people have moved closer, mostly just to gawk. Thankfully, as if to save him from being an utter spectacle. The two ushers come out, taking him away. One of them, the kid from earlier, shoots me an apologetic look. I can't even return it to him. Anxiety is a powerful thing. a firm little notion that clings, eats, and consumes you. I can still hear his prayers, even as they drag him away.
May he keep at bay and vanquish every evil power, every poison or malice invoked against us by corrupt and envious people. Then under the protection of your authority may we sing in gratitude.
Yeah, man. I don't blame the guy. I mean, my question is, how did Zack not see or feel something behind him? The ring hums. It rings, hums in me as I am left to pick up the pieces of this chaos. Back to square one we go. If there is salvation in this, I hope we find it soon. The moon is well into the night sky by the time I make it back home.